Player 4 Podcast's first t-shirt is now on sale at tpublic.com. Ever wonder what it takes to make a good podcast? We've already done the math for you and put it on a t-shirt. Visit our storefront at tpublic.com/user/P4podcast and get yours today. That's tpublic.com/user/P4podcast.
This is the Player 4 Podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game.
Welcome to the Player 4 Podcast. Today we have a special guest.
Hello, my name is Tristan, aka Ric on the Rooster Teeth website.
I am Alex, aka Chaos Black 21.
I am Joseph, aka J Dunlap.
And I'm the special guest, Ric Guerrero, a.k.a. Bitch.
Thank you, Malachi. You're not on this podcast anymore.
I've been booted out.
Sorry, Malachi.
I'm crying.
And I am Malachi, a.k.a. Tsukikima.
You know, there was a point when Tristan started saying his name, I'm like, you're not a special guest.
Yeah, I know. I said, with a special guest. Doesn't matter.
With a special guest, it's fine. It went well, except for that. So yes, welcome Ric Guerrero to the podcast.
Hello, everybody.
Again, welcome again. Welcome.
Yeah.
A long time ago. Like right now.
Was it in a galaxy far, far away?
Yes.
Oh.
He was all in his onesie.
So you're not all by your onesie this time?
Oh, no, I'm all by my onesie, except this time I'm at the housey. Onesie at the housey.
Onesie at the housey.
He's not calling us from Rooster Teeth Internet.
No.
That's okay. Roosternet?
Roosternet.
So,
Can just
anyone want to
combine
guess what we
everything.
brought Ric Guerrero onto Player 4 Podcast?
Oh, we were going to get his special chili recipe, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You start with really good ground beef.
All right. So like 93, 98% lean?
98% lean.
Perfect.
If you go any further, you'll fall over.
I mean, I tried to get the 104% lean, but they wouldn't sell it to me.
Stop.
Okay, you killed it, Tristan. No, we have Ric Guerrero on to talk about the feels, the RWBY feels. So, Tristan and Alex, before we recorded, you guys said that your contribution would basically be crying.
The Malachite hasn't caught up yet.
So of the season, like how much of season 3 did you guys actually see?
All of it.
I've seen all of it.
Okay.
Oh.
Malachi.
I kind of took a road stop at season 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's a good thing we're going to spoil all of season 3 for you.
I could just take off my headphones. Pretend
No,
like
we're not going to spoil it.
In deference to those who haven't seen it, let's see if we can try and address some without breaking too many hearts.
I think we can accomplish.
Malachi.
Wait, you guys already broke enough hearts as it is.
Oh,
So
it was a
broken.
wonderful season. A roller coaster ride of feels and emotions and stuff. We gave you some highs, we gave you some lows, and some lefts and some rights, and maybe a black eye or two. But all in all, it was a good thing.
Dismemberment.
Just
Maybe.
I guess my first question would be, like, at what point in the process do you, as the compositor, get to learn what their plans for the plot line are? Do you find out as you're compositing it, or are you part of, like, the creative process before that?
We are all part of the creative process in the fact that, we all have the responsibility to read the scripts.
Okay.
So I was all read up on the scripts, and so I knew stuff was coming, but, until the footage actually, comes across my desk and I actually see what it's going to look like, I just see, interesting phrases from Miles and Carrie about, what's supposed to be happening here. It's like, oh, that's what they meant by.
Yeah. So you kind of just, like, you get all the lines of dialogue and then just sort of, like, cryptic explanations of how the scene should look, but not exact details.
Not exact details, but, that's kind of decided upon, by, every other process in the pipeline. So, when we get the footage and we piece everything together, it's like, oh, that's how it's supposed to look.
So it's not like on your desk as you're putting the shot together, you go, no, I didn't want such and such to happen.
Exactly. And since that composite is, right there in the animation pit, we're seeing and hearing reactions of animators who are putting stuff together that, we may not get to see for like another week or so. So, like when we're finally, compositing that shot that, the animators were crying and laughing and bugging out on, it's like, oh, so this is why they were racing the big.
I just animated the best joke ever.
Yeah, exactly.
I have an idea for a show.
What's your idea?
It's a thriller where an animator finds out the plot twists of the show he works on as he's animating. He's a compositor, he's putting the elements together, and he finds out, like a Tom Cruise thriller, what happens in the story that way. He finds out in the worst way possible.
Oh, that would be so heartbreaking.
So he wasn't keeping up on the script. It's his own fault.
Yes, exactly. It's his own damn fault.
That would be pretty interesting to see, though. Like, if someone's like busy animating while they're animating, they're just crying, but you keep hearing like the clicks of the computer and the typing and the working. They're just bawling their eyes out, like, I can't believe I'm doing this right now.
I mean, I've had that a little bit. Like, I draw just for pleasure from time to time, and sometimes something funny will strike me, and I'll draw a picture of it, and I'll be laughing like an idiot while I'm drawing, because what I'm looking at, coming out of my brain going, yes, this is hilarious. I mean, I would hate to be that guy going, man, I just, animated this event, and it's like, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to animate.
No, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and one of the most rewarding things is seeing like the live reaction videos of people seeing the shot. This is the first they're seeing it, and seeing how everything unfolds, the emotions and expressions that are happening on their face as stuff is going, and you see the highs and lows right there. It's like that's what makes it worthwhile.
Yes, actually, after the season finale, I did go through YouTube and I watched several of those reaction videos just to see, because when I'm watching a show, I'm not very vocal. I'm more in my own head.
Yeah.
Cerebral. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm more cerebral in my experience. So it's actually kind of fun just to see other people actually vocalizing the reactions that I don't tend to vocalize.
Yeah.
I feel the feels vicariously through other people. Does that make me a bad person?
No, it doesn't make you a bad person at all.
Just makes you more of a robot.
I'm a robot.
Yes.
I am a gay robot.
But yeah, season 3 was kind of a big change from the first 2 seasons. You guys obviously made it darker, and you put that discretion advised in there to let people know that, yeah, you're getting a little more than what you've been the past couple seasons.
Yeah, but if you read the rest of that all the way through, it specifically stated that this was the intention all along. This was the vision that Monty and Carrie and Gray and Miles and everybody that's been with RWBY since the very beginning. This was the intention from the beginning, to go ahead and make this long arc. This is how it was intended.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get to some questions that have been suggested to me on social media. But first, I would like for Alex and Malachi to ask their questions. Tristan already asked one.
I mean, I don't necessarily... I didn't come in with, questions per se, as I came in with my observations, and I've said a couple observations, I believe.
I really don't have questions. It's just cool to say, hi, it's awesome you get to work on something nifty, and it's doing really well.
Oh, it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun.
Tristan originally showed me RWBY when I went up to Boston to visit him. He's like, dude, you have to check this out, when RWBY was still really young. I don't even think there was even 3 episodes out when I first seen it. I really liked what Monty did with the fight sequences and stuff. He was always really good with that.
I actually have a question for you myself.
Oh, okay.
And my question is, when did you first hear about RWBY?
I actually learned about RWBY when I was working on RWBY.
Okay. And what was your first impression of RWBY?
My first impression was it was beautifully done, and unlike any other anime that I had seen before. Now, I haven't been a huge watcher of anime in the last couple of years, and so this was a great way to get back into anime for me as well.
I can understand that. I've sort of been on a anime downslope lately, so RWBY has been a nice change from that.
Okay, yeah. Rick, so if this has been your way to get back into anime, has it inspired you to watch any other anime since you started working on it?
I would like to get reacquainted with the anime that I saw as a kid, just to go ahead and get it fresh in my mind, and then go on from there. I want to rewatch Macross and
classics.
Akira, and Battle of the Planets, and even like original Voltron.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I remember watching as a kid. And so I'd like to go ahead and watch that again with fresh mind and fresh perspective, and then go from there. We have that new anime podcast that Gray, Miles, and Carrie have going on, and so I need to go ahead and pay close attention to the shows that they're watching, so I can start building a list and see how stuff has changed, because it's a very fertile, creative ground out there. There's so much to choose from.
I don't think Akira will make any more sense now than it did when you were a kid.
True, but it was pretty then, and it's still going to be pretty now. Light streaks.
Yes. I was recently rewatching Gurren Lagann because that was always a favorite of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I guess now would be a good time for me to move on to the questions that have been suggested to me via Facebook.
Sure.
Okay, so first off, Jennifer Ross, who's a friend of a friend from when I was in college, says that she wanted to know about the animation specifically because she noticed that the lines had gotten smoother in Season 3, and she wanted to know how that was achieved.
We still use Poser this season, but we kind of took Poser and we pushed it well beyond its limit. We're throwing things left and right at Poser that, how it didn't break catastrophically, I don't think anyone can honestly answer how it didn't, but, we have some really great folks there, but between the animators and our riggers and technical people that were able to go ahead and keep things running smoothly.
Sounds great. The next question is from the head of Big Bite, James Parrott, and his first question is, have you read Big Bite?
No, I haven't.
What is Big Bite?
What is Big Bite?
What is Big Bite?
Big Bite magazine is a Rooster Teeth community magazine that gets many hits per month when they come out monthly, and they usually are able to get at least one interview with a Rooster Teeth personality. I think most recently they got Caleb and Jordan of Game Kids.
Oh, wow. I've been there a year, and I haven't heard of Big Bite, but, I'm just a grunt.
It's the officially unofficial magazine.
He's so cool. Much of a grunt, he doesn't even have a birthday party.
Grunt birthday party.
Fun birthday party.
We'll get you some confetti and poppers.
There you go.
They should just have all the grunt birthday party all at once. It's a cluster. The birthday. It's not your birthday. We're celebrating it now.
I think they wouldn't show up. They'd be scared that it would be an actual Halo grunt birthday party.
Do not shoot anybody in the head. No shooting in the head allowed.
Okay, so James's other question is, what brought you into the animation industry? What was your inspiration?
My inspiration to get into the animation industry goes all the way back to The Last Starfighter movie that came out. I want to say the late 80s, early 90s. It was one of the first live action movies that had CG in it, and that's what spurred me to want to get into the animation industry. But it took me forever between not following through on education and not pushing myself to my limits. And so, here I am, 40 plus years old, and 1 year out of college with a degree and working at one of the coolest places ever. So, I've only been an animator technically for 1 year.
Success story, man.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. This one comes from Josh Kelly, who is a member of Draw4 podcast that I do. He's part of my production team. I don't know that you really can give perspective on his first question, which was, did you ever anticipate the show becoming as big as it is? So I guess we could change it to be, when did you realize how big RWBY was?
I realized that when I heard that RWBY was going to premiere in Japan and be, imported. And then when I found out further that it was the first American anime import, that basically says right there that that's a really big deal.
Wow. The first, really?
Yeah.
That is huge.
Japan bought it.
You know why that happened, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why it happened.
I know.
But, oh yeah, please, tell me.
It was your animation.
He's brown-nosing.
It was the team's animation. I just make things look pretty.
Well, see, you put in your own spin on it, and it gave it a nice noir film look.
Really pushing that noir.
Yeah.
He's going for the full circle jokes.
Yep. It's a physical reality. No way, that's the wrong full circle.
Wrong circle.
Okay,
That circle.
No, we already made that full circle earlier.
Josh has another question for you, and he wanted to know what single anime was your biggest influence. That's a toughie, isn't it?
You know what? Because we're starting new right now, getting reacquainted, everything. The biggest influence right now is RWBY.
Wow.
I think that's a fair and honest answer right there.
Boom.
Okay, that's a great answer.
I would agree with that.
Not the answer you expected.
Twist!
So you might not know what the plans are for casting, but Matt317 had asked if there was any plans to dive further into actual professional anime voice actors, since, like, this season, Crow was voiced by Vic Mignogna. He was asking if there were any more plans to get more, well-known anime voice actors added to the cast.
Well, I guess we'll have to turn in to next season to find out.
Watch and find out.
Dun, dun, dun.
Watch and find out.
You got wafoed.
I was going to ask everyone a question now.
Awesome.
As we head towards the home stretch of the episode, what is your all-time favorite scene of RWBY?
That was going to be my question.
Okay, Tristan, ask it.
I was going to ask people what their favorite sequence, and therefore, transfer it over to Rick and say what was his favorite sequence to composite. I think one of my favorite scenes to watch was the first episode of Season 2, the food fight scene. Just because it was a lot of fun, there was a lot of great choreography in it, and it was showing off the flexibility of the characters, that they could utilize their different abilities with improvised weapons. That was my favorite sequence.
I'd have to really go and watch through all 3 seasons again to really pinpoint mine, but since Season 3 is fresh, I won't give out too detailed of an explanation, but I would say the sequence with Velvet and the fight, I think it's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
Tristan stole mine.
Pick another one.
I don't really have another one. I just thought there's character personalities that was always really fun.
All right, you can have that one. Then I'm going to choose the scene where they were fighting the big scorpion in the first season, where Nora's flinging people.
Yes, that's the other thing I was thinking. See, this is why we're friends, Tristan.
We know friends, so we can steal all the things that you were thinking about.
Well, no, it's because we think the same thing. It's terrible. It's horrible.
Just living in his brain, feeding off of his thoughts.
Just a symbiote.
I'm a friend parasite.
Tristan's favorite line, too, is boop, boop.
I got my friend Sam the shirt. As soon as it went on the store, I'm like, mine. Got the boot shirt.
Okay, so I'm answering what was my favorite episode.
You can tell us
my favorite scene.
Just all time.
Favorite scene of all time. There were a lot of good moments in this season, but since a couple of you guys haven't seen it, I will say one of the most fun scenes of mine this season was the Juniper fight. I think in episode 2, where Nora gets a special little power-up animation that was really, really, really fun to go ahead and work on.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Just that fight in general is really good, too.
Yeah.
Nora.
Okay, so this is a question that's kind of akin to a topic that you and I have talked about before, Rick. When I was getting autographs for my younger sister, who's a big Red vs. Blue fan, at the previous RTX, and then you were joking that you had animated Caboose. And so this question is simply not what is your favorite character in RWBY, but who is your favorite character to composite and animate?
Okay, just that favorite character overall in, you said in RWBY? Pyrrha. Pyrrha's my favorite.
Pyrrha is a great character.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you like about that character?
Strong, talented, but very humble in what she does and how she approaches things.
So she's you.
He's brown nosing again. Yes, she wins at humility.
She just can't make really good ground beef chili.
That's right. She can't make really good ground beef chili.
Okay, if you choose that character based on personality, then who has the coolest outfit?
Coolest outfit? John.
God.
As goofy as he is, I mean, come on. His sword scabbard becomes a shield.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
He's also one of 2 characters wearing obvious armor.
over normal clothes too.
I mean, I know that a lot of the fighters rely on aura to protect them, but yeah, I'd still go in with armor.
It just reminds me of that cliche from the 90s of wearing short sleeve shirts under long sleeve shirts under short sleeve shirts. So he wears armor over clothing.
Well, his clothes, kind of act as like in knighthood. You had plate armor with chainmail underneath, and then you had some sort of like padded armor underneath. So yeah, that's just his version.
Yeah, you had to wear the padded clothing underneath, otherwise you'd just cut
You
yourself
chase.
to shred. You chase something awful.
He needs gold bond.
There you
I
go.
always want. We know his
King
swords.
Arthur recommends Gold Bond for your armor needs.
Gold bonds since the 1400s.
I wonder if his armor is a hand-me-down like his sword and shield.
I believe it. He hasn't really talked
Did he
about
say?
that.
I thought he said. Yeah, I thought he said it in the.
No,
first
he
season.
just said no. Yeah, in the first season when
You only talked about the sword shield combo.
RWBY asked about his weapon, and then he said it was a hand-me-down. He didn't say anything about the armor, so I'm wondering if that's also a hand-me-down.
Maybe he got it from the dust store around the corner.
Dust till dawn.
Yeah.
He was on his way to get elbow grease.
It
There
is.
you go.
It is one of the only dust shops in Vale open that late.
So the whole thing about the armor being maybe a hand-me-down, maybe not, makes me think about companies such as Weta that make practical armor and weapons and how there's a story behind each piece of armor that they make. Rick, is that a level of detail that you guys as animators sometimes put into your work?
Yes. Especially the animators, when they do their fight choreography, we have an actual fight coordinator and specialists come in, and they'll do some of the more advanced movements. But yeah, a lot of times, for like walk cycles or for some other pickups and stuff like that, our animators are from just regular animator grunt to our leads. Those guys will put on the mocap suit, go into the studio, and if they have to do like a simulated sword match, they actually have practice weapons that they can go ahead and do stuff with under supervision.
That is pretty cool. Any other questions for the talented Ric Guerrero?
I've always been I'm not really a guy that wanders the web too much. When I'm online, I play games. But I've been meaning to be more interested in communities, and I did sign up for Rooster Teeth not too long ago finally, after knowing about it forever.
And then it just took you a few weeks to friend me.
I friended you right away. You just don't remember. You had amnesia.
You just didn't get the notification right away. It's not his fault. It's the system's fault.
Rick, is there anything that you're working on or know of that you would recommend to someone that's trying to be more into Rooster Teeth community?
I would say follow the Rooster Teeth Twitter page, follow the Rooster Teeth Facebook page. Barb and the crew that do all that, they're always active, always doing stuff. Follow various crew members. People are always tweeting and doing stuff. Get involved with the guys that you're involved with right now and find out what they're doing in the community. Surf the RT website and introduce yourself. I mean, I've been there a year, and I only just within the last week made my first post on the RT website. I'm kind of falling behind.
What? I have to find you now.
Even though I'm just a cog in the machine, I really like what all you guys are doing in the community, and I don't want to say I'm reaching out, but my first experience with the community as a whole was going to RTX for the first time last year, and I was blown away by how passionate the fans are. And every one of you guys out there makes what we do behind the scenes that much more fun, because how y'all's passions are why we do this. Y'all's passions kind of fuel our passions, so it's kind of a win-win.
That's very similar to my final question, which is what surprised you most about the Rooster Teeth community?
Right there, that P word, passion.
Passion.
Is there anything else you're working on other than RWBY? That's the big thing.
Well, right now, we are working. We're ramping up on the next season of Red versus Blue. So there's a good season ahead. Lots in store. Can't really say anything more than that.
I'm looking forward to Noir Caboose.
Yeah. Make it happen.
Make it a physical reality.
Why you do this to me, Tristan?
Because I can.
Okay, I guess that means that it's a good time to wrap up here.
I think that was good.
Rick, thanks so much again for joining us. This is your second time on, and you haven't regretted it yet.
No, I haven't regretted it yet.
We can fix that.
Don't worry, third time's the charm.
There you go.
It's really nice to meet you, Rick.
Nice to meet you too, bud.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I can't wait to see you again at RTX.
Yeah, that'll
There
be
you
fun.
go. I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait to see you and know who you are.
Are you still debating whether you're getting a hotel or not for RTX?
I'm still debating.
Where would you be commuting from if you didn't get a hotel?
I would be commuting from North Austin.
Oh, yeah.
I would probably get a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much nicer to just be able to walk to what's going on rather than have to get a ride.
We're going to be across
Exactly.
the street, I think.
We're
Yeah,
across
we
the
are
street.
pretty much exactly across the street on 4th Street.
It's going to be pretty nice. Rick, for our goodbye, as we always allow the guests to do the goodbye, would you like to do a goodbye as Noir Rick?
Noir Rick.
Noir Rick.
How does one do noir?
This is your new superhero name.
My noir.
It's a dark and perilous evening, but 5 men came to the call. They rose to the call to make things happen on the Player 4 podcast.
Woo!
Woo!
Nice.
Good
I
night,
think you wanna-
audience.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for having
Good
me on.
night.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
What was the thing, Alex, that you said that we were supposed to put at the end?
What was the thing?
Oh, it was something about the goodbye.
Oh.
I can't remember what it was.
What, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out?
Oh man!
Safety so much. Why don't you invent a safety door that doesn't hit you on the ass on your way out? Because you're fired!